Peace upon you. Go in peace, live in peace. Hi there, crypto fans. Dick Allgire here. It is a beautiful day in the beautiful Hawaiian Islands. How about you? Okay, in my last whiteboard segment where I was talking about mastery of life and I referred to obelisks, I was busy talking and writing. It's kind of hard to write large, and I misspelled obelisk. I spelled it O-B-L-I-S-C-K-S-K. Someone pointed this out to me, and of course, spelling is important, and the correct spelling is obelisk. Shame on me. I'm very embarrassed about that because as a journalist for 30 years, I had to use language correctly, and there I was, I misspelled obelisk. It's important to know the origin of words. It's important to spell them correctly because language, especially words derived from Latin, language creates a spell under which we operate, and it's very important that you spell correctly to invoke the spell. I'm going all full Jordan Maxwell on you, but that is an important point. So thank you for pointing out that mistake. I do read your comments. Today I'm talking about peace and the meaning of the word peace and the greater jurisdictional concept of peace. Do you know what peace means? When you talk about peace, you need to go back to the Latin, the derivation P-A-I-S, P-A-X, pax, pais. The Latin root of peace means a time after conflict. So the antonym of peace would be war. And war, of course, is a time of no order. It's a time of unrest. War is a time of death, of reorganization, of disorder and conflict. So when war is over, you have peace. And to have a different type of peace, a war is a good thing. So wars are created and fomented in order to establish a different type of peace. And the meaning of peace in that case would be live in peace. Live in an order that was bestowed upon you by an authority within a jurisdiction. Peace. To live in order, in an order that's bestowed upon you by an authority within a jurisdiction. So the authority within that jurisdiction to have a peace, you can have peace under a dictatorship. You can have peace under a military junta. You might not like it, but it could be very peaceful. You could have peace under a kingdom, under a feudal system, or you could have peace under democracy. Different populations thrive better under different types of administration. That's a whole other subject, but peace, peace. Peace is the rule of law. Peace is law and order. So it is, peace is bestowed upon you, peace is bestowed by those who make the rules. If you're living in your house and you have the concept of your home being your castle, you have your little place and you're king of the roost, you have your king of your castle. You want to have peace and quiet. You can impose the order within your own home. And if you want to expand that and you have some property that you're living on, why, you might put a fence up to maintain order within your own personal jurisdiction. The problem can arise when other people come in with more guns, more might, more friends, more powerful friends, and they can take your property away from you if you can't defend it. If you're a king, you've got to defend your property, and that goes back to wars, times of disorder. So you can have different types of peace under different jurisdictions and under different authorities. It all falls under the heading of Catholicism. And we're not talking solely about the Catholic Church because Catholicism is the overriding authority for all religions. The Pope is the highest earthly authority. So when the Pope says, live in peace, well, let's go back a minute. Other religions do use this concept of peace. You can be Hebrew, you can be Jewish and say shalom, or you can be a Muslim and say as-salam. Hindus would say namaste, which means I bow to you, bowing to a higher authority. So there's the higher authority that imposes peace. So when the Pope says pacem in terris, peace on earth, think about what the true meaning of that is. If this is of interest to you, if you like discussions like this, if you like to hear the inner workings of our world and how history and language shapes the way the administration of this jurisdiction works, we invite you to join us at futureforecastinggroup.com. futureforecastinggroup.com. We have a private site where we have amazing interviews and we have amazing information, stuff that is a little too spectacular to put out in public rather, so we do put it out in private under a private forum where we're allowed to say more. So I end this by saying peace. Did you know, one little thing before I go, you know this sign right here? I was a child of this era. I used to wear buttons, and yeah, we'd put that on our shirt. The peace sign. You know what that is, actually. Some of you probably already know that. It's called a rune. This is that right there is the life rune with the angles going up. But if you turn it over this way and make it downward, that means death. And death is actually the ultimate peace. Oh, that's getting a little too heavy. Anyway, peace.